So now that you guys know all about variables and operators and how to use them and make them work right, let's integrate that in an if statement. Let's make a variable x and have that equal to 5. Now let's write if, and you want your circle brackets. Now if x is greater than 1, we want to echo true. Now let's see what happens when you refresh your index page. You get a value of true because that is true. Now if you have x is lesser than 1 and you want to still display false, you'll notice that you get a blank outcome. This is because it never reads the statement. It never gets to this line because this only gets executed. This line only gets executed if x is lesser than 1, which it's not. So the way to go upon this, if you want to make it a true or false statement, is go if x is greater than 1, you want to echo true. Whoops. And next, else, you want to echo false. So now you know you get a true response. Now if you make x a 0, you notice you get a false response because x is lesser than 1. So this is a pretty simple way to make a true and false if-else statement. Now you'll notice that in these lines here, we didn't end with a semicolon. This is because these, the if and else, are conditional statements, meaning you don't need to have semicolons. Conditional statements basically pretty much have the open curly brackets and the closed curly brackets. So if you want to use curly brackets, they work the same way. You don't have to use curly bracket when the line below is just one line. For example, if you just want to echo one line, that's fine. If you want to echo another line, you will have to use a bracket, the curly bracket, to keep it all in the if statement. So just remember that conditional statements use curly brackets to open and close the if-and statement. So let's do another example of if, else, and let's expand on that. Let's have an if, else, if, and else. So let's keep x as 0, get rid of that. Now, if you want, update. Alright, so if x is greater than 1, let's use a bracket. Or since it's just one line, you don't need a bracket. Let's echo false. Else if, this will give, you'll need to use another conditional statement. So else if x let's add that there, Java mode. So if x is greater than 5, you want to echo false. And just put a big A so you can just notice the difference. And now you just have an else statement. We echo true. Now let's reload our index page and see what we get. Whoops. Oh, that's the problem. When you reload, you get a true. This is because x is not greater than 1 and x is not greater than 5. So it ignores these lines and it only displays this line true. So say let's have x as 2. Now this time you'll notice you get a false statement, but with a smaller a, which will be this statement here, because x is greater than 1 but not greater than 5. Okay, so let's rewrite our code and have, instead of this having greater, we'll have this equal. So now you see you get a return statement of true when you reload your index page, because x is not 1 and not 5. Now if you have x is equal to 5, you get a false statement with a larger A because x is equal to 5. So that's just a basic way on how to do else if statements. You can include operators as well. So for example, let's get rid of that code and make a new one. If x is equal to 5 and x is greater than, and x is greater than 1, we are going to echo true. And else, if x is equal to 4 and x is greater than 1, we will echo true, or true in uppercase. Now else, we'll just echo false. Now you'll get a return statement of true in lowercase because x is 5. Now if you want to make x 4, you will get return statement of large true, and anything else besides 5 and 4 you will get false as long as it's greater than 1. So that's pretty much a basic example on how to do else if statements. The next lesson we'll be focusing more on like the switch statements, how to switch cases and stuff like that. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching.